The renowned designer Adrian Newey's departure from Red Bull Racing and subsequent joining of Aston Martin has ignited both anticipation and apprehension for the Silverstone-based team. This development signifies a notable shift in the F1 landscape, with potential implications for the 2025 season and beyond. Aston Martin experienced fluctuating performance in recent years. The team had a strong 2023 season with Fernando Alonso securing 8 podium finishes. This included an impressive streak of 6 consecutive podiums at the start of the year. The success raised hopes for continued competitiveness. However, the 2024 season proved challenging for Aston Martin. The team struggled to maintain its earlier momentum, ultimately finishing 5th in the Constructors' Championship. This result left them 374 points behind 4th-placed Mercedes, while managing to stay 29 points ahead of 6th-placed Alpine. Despite the underwhelming on-track results, Aston Martin executed a significant move by securing Adrian Newey from Red Bull Racing. This acquisition represents a potential game-changer for the team's future prospects. Adrian Newey's reputation in Formula One is unparalleled. His track record speaks volumes about his impact on the sport. Over 200 race wins, 26 combined Drivers' and Constructors' World Championships, success with multiple teams including Williams, McLaren, and Red Bull. Newey's ability to interpret and exploit technical regulations has been a key factor in his success. His innovative designs have consistently pushed the boundaries of what's possible in Formula One, often forcing rule changes to curb his creation's dominance. Adrian Newey is set to begin his tenure with Aston Martin on March 3, 2025, just days before the season-opening Australian Grand Prix. His position at Aston Martin is newly created, Managing Technical Partner. This role suggests a high level of influence and responsibility within the team's technical structure. Notably, Newey has also become a shareholder in Aston Martin, further solidifying his commitment to the team's long-term success. His involvement extends beyond car design, as he is expected to work closely with Honda, Aston Martin's future engine partner and fuel supplier Aramco, on the team's 2026 car. The 2025 Formula One season represents the final year of the current technical regulations introduced in 2022. This timing creates a distinctive situation for Aston Martin and Newey. Industry insiders and team personnel have expressed varying expectations for the team's performance in the upcoming season. Roberto Merhi, a former Formula One driver, shared his perspective on Aston Martin's prospects. He said, "From what I understand, Aston is not going to get off to a very good start. They are waiting for Newey to put out the fires. We have to wait a bit." Merhi's comments suggest that Aston Martin may face initial challenges as they integrate Newey's expertise into their existing setup. However, he also believes that Aston Martin should still outperform teams like Williams, Sauber, Haas, and V-Carb, formerly AlphaTauri. Merhi elaborated, "In theory, Aston Martin should be ahead of Williams. They beat them last year, and as a team, they have made a step forward in the last 3 years. I think we will have a battle with Sauber first, Haas, and RB." Daniel Juncadella, Aston Martin's simulator driver, provided additional insight into the team's mindset for 2025. He said, "Expectations are low. It's not like we will throw a year away because it's important that it's a competitive year. But it's also a year to gather all of the information possible for next year, 2026, where the expectations are very high." Juncadella further explained, "Everyone is already very close, and I hope that this is the trend, because when the drivers are close, Fernando can make the difference. So I am confident that we could also have some surprises." These statements indicate that Aston Martin is approaching 2025 as a transitional year. The team appears to be balancing the desire for competitiveness with the need to prepare for the significant rule changes coming in 2026. Aston Martin's partnership with Honda for the 2026 season adds another layer of complexity to their future plans. The Japanese manufacturer will supply engines to Aston Martin under the new power unit regulations set to be introduced that year. Throughout his career, Adrian Newey has consistently found ways to exploit technical regulations to gain a competitive advantage. His ability to identify and capitalize on loopholes in the rules has led to some of the most dominant cars in Formula One history. Newey himself has reflected on some of his most satisfying technical innovations: exhaust-blown diffusers. Newey reintroduced this concept with the 2000 McLaren, cleverly hiding the system to comply with regulations at the time. He explained, "We found a way on the 2000 McLaren to reintroduce exhausts, blowing the diffuser by hiding it beside the gearbox and above the plank. But of course, that loophole was then closed." Double diffuser developments. With the Red Bull RB6 in 2010, Newey combined exhaust blowing with the double diffuser concept to create a highly effective aerodynamic package. Newey described this innovation. With the RB6, the 2010 car, we actually had the exhausts mounted on the side, the Coke bottle area, but blowing a slot in the double diffuser, and that was very powerful. Double diffusers, and hence that loophole, were banned for 2011, but we'd rediscovered the power of it, so I was anxious to try to not lose that. Solving the squish problem. In 2011, Newey developed a solution to mitigate air turbulence around the wheels, resulting in the dominant Red Bull RB7. He explained the concept. One of the big aerodynamic problems that all open-wheel and closed-wheel cars struggle with is you have what's called a squish, which is when the air hits the wheel and kind of works its way round until it hits the ground plane, and then it has nowhere to go. So it squirts out sideways. That creates a lot of dirt at the front with the front wing wake, and at the rear with the diffuser, where this dirty air is squirting under the diffuser. I felt if we could get the exhaust just in front of that and get it to blow down slightly, then we could use the exhaust to shut off that squish's loss. That's what the 2011 car, the RB7, did, by having what looked like cricket bats just in front of the tire. That was incredibly powerful. Coanda effect utilization. When regulations changed in 2012, Newey adapted McLaren's Coanda effect concept to maintain Red Bull's aerodynamic advantage. He described this adaptation. McLaren came up with this concept that they blew it up in what's known as the Coanda effect. What we did at Red Bull was effectively copy the McLaren channel of pointing up and then curving down, but followed that all the way to the rear tire, so it had a decent chance of ducting it in this U-shape. It was an incredibly powerful effect once we got it running. Reflecting on the success of these innovations, Newey stated, "That chain of 4 championships that Red Bull had from 2010 through 13, of course, there's a whole host of things behind that, but one of the most powerful ones was that all 4 years we found a way of getting a blown exhaust to work." Ferrari just revealed their 2025 F1 car, the SF25, and it's absolutely insane, with radical design changes, including a potential pull rod front suspension inspired by Red Bull's dominance, aerodynamic overhauls, and cockpit tweaks, rumored to fit Lewis Hamilton's driving style. Ferrari is making a bold statement. Add in Hamilton's quest for his 8th world title, and the SF25 could be the game-changer F1 fans have been waiting for. Is this the year Ferrari finally takes it all? Before we jump into the details, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Ferrari's 2025 challenger, the SF25, continues the naming convention established with the SF23 and SF24. However, the team has made a surprising change to their launch plans. Initially set to unveil the cars separately from the official Formula One season launch event, Ferrari has now decided to reveal the SF25 on February 18th through their social media channels. This earlier reveal will give fans and competitors alike a first glimpse of the car's design through high-quality rendered images. The following day, February 19th, we'll see the SF25 make its track debut at Ferrari's private Fiorano circuit. This shakedown will be conducted as a filming day, allowing the team to cover a maximum of 200 kilometers. Both Charles Leclerc and the newly signed Lewis Hamilton will have the opportunity to put the car through its paces, providing valuable initial feedback to the engineers. One of the most significant changes rumored for the SF25 is a potential switch to a pull rod front suspension layout. This move would align Ferrari with the design philosophy that has contributed to Red Bull's recent dominance. The pull rod system offers aerodynamic advantages crucial for ground effect cars, allowing for a lower center of gravity and improved airflow to the underfloor area. The aerodynamic advantages offered for ground effect cars are becoming increasingly evident. Aerodynamically, the SF25 is expected to feature a revised front wing and nose design. Reports suggest that the nose will be lengthened, a concept that teams have been gradually converging towards since the introduction of the current ground effect regulations. This change, coupled with potential reshaping of the side pod inlets, indicates Ferrari's commitment to optimizing airflow and maximizing downforce generation. Traction improvements are another key focus area for the SF25. Ferrari engineers have been working to ensure consistent performance across various track layouts, addressing one of the weaknesses observed in previous seasons. This involves modifications to the car's kinematics and ride height management systems. The goal is to maintain a stable distance from the reference plane under all driving conditions, ensuring a consistent level of performance regardless of track layout. The cockpit positioning of the SF25 may also see changes, with rumors suggesting it could be moved further back compared to its predecessor. This modification aligns with preferences previously expressed by Lewis Hamilton during his time at Mercedes, highlighting the potential influence of the 7-time world champion on the car's development. Ferrari's approach to balancing the development of the SF25 with preparations for the 2026 regulations showcases the team's strategic thinking. Of the 900 wind tunnel hours allocated to Ferrari for the first half of 2025, approximately 600 will be dedicated to the SF25. This allocation allows for significant development of the 2025 car while still reserving resources for the crucial 2026 project. Technical Director Loic Serra has implemented a new strategy for updates, emphasizing practicality and efficiency. The team has focused on reducing the margin of error between simulations and real-world performance, a crucial factor in the fast-paced development race of Formula One. Key personnel are driving these changes within the team. Loic Serra's influence on chassis and suspension development is evident, while aerodynamics head Diego Tondi has introduced a new design philosophy that has been enthusiastically embraced by the engineering team. This collaborative approach aims to address the weaknesses observed in previous seasons while building on the strengths of recent Ferrari cars. The arrival of Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari has injected a new level of excitement and expectation into the team. Hamilton's first laps with Ferrari at Fiorano and subsequent testing in Barcelona have already provided valuable input for the SF25's development. His quest for a record-breaking 8th world title aligns perfectly with Ferrari's ambitions to return to the top of Formula One. Former F1 driver Johnny Herbert commented on Hamilton's move, saying, "There are going to be so many lovely stories this year with Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari and the excitement that's brought. When you've got one of the greatest drivers we've ever seen in Formula One, as in Lewis Hamilton, let's hope it all comes together for him." However, Ferrari faces significant challenges in 2025. The team must adapt to new FIA technical directives, including a clampdown on flexible wings set to take effect by the Spanish Grand Prix. This regulation change will consume valuable development resources and could potentially reshape the competitive order. The balance between 2025 competitiveness and 2026 preparation remains a delicate one. While Ferrari is committing significant resources to the SF25, they are also laying the groundwork for their 2026 car, codenamed Project 678. As the 2025 season progresses, the team will gradually shift more resources towards this next-generation vehicle. The threat from other teams cannot be underestimated. Red Bull's continued strong form, McLaren's resurgence, and Mercedes' determination to bounce back all pose significant challenges to Ferrari's championship aspirations. The competitive landscape of Formula One remains as fierce as ever, with multiple teams vying for supremacy. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, Ferrari's long-term strategy for returning to the top of Formula One is taking shape. The 2026 regulation changes present a unique opportunity for all teams to reset their designs, and Ferrari is determined to capitalize on this chance. The development of Project 678 is already underway, with a dedicated team of engineers working exclusively on the 2026 car. This forward-thinking approach demonstrates Ferrari's commitment to long-term success in Formula One. The team is leveraging its resources and expertise to ensure they are well positioned when the new regulations come into effect. Speaking ahead of this year's ATR allocation coming into effect, Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur admitted that wind tunnel development is more or less complete on the 2025 car, allowing greater room to develop next year's effort. It will probably be more for 2026 because in 2025 on the 31st of December, when we will turn on the next ATR slot, I don't want to say that all the job will be done because we will continue to develop at the beginning of 2025, the car of 2025, but we will all be fully focused on 2026 quite early into the season.